about was Steinbeck's slasher that I'm hearing about since I got in town. What a...
Well, give him some credit. He does have the most original calling card for a serial killer. After every scene, he leaves some analysis of John Steinbeck's literary works at the crime scene.
I have never seen such a cry for help. It's so unheard. You know, it's really discomforting the amount of inability the local police force has on this. Perhaps they could use a little assistance. At the right price. I'll tell you what. Why don't you go to the precinct and look up some information on this Steinbeck slasher? And take a powder, get some lunch. Go off and have some fun out there, John. I've got a house. Oh. It gives me a reason to stick my nose where it doesn't belong. So, like I said, get some lunch. Take a powder. We got some work to do.
Oh, hello, Detective. Come on in. We have a lot to discuss.
Baron Donald Cunningham, age 65, found dead at the Prancing Pony. A Mr. Underhill identified him. A note on his person which reads, "Great book shows us what it means to be human. John Steinbeck uses land as a symbol of class struggle in his stories. And of mice and men, the land is the dream of the working class, like George and Lenny. It is the land that keeps men working, and it fills their heads when they dream at night. The dream, as it was those farmhands of the time period, it is an unattainable goal, showing the vulnerable dreamer found in the layman."
Jesus H. Christ! Who is this nut job?
See anything you like?
Oh, thank you. You know, you have a really nice house here. You have these really great pictures. You have a healthy, happy-looking library. You should really be a happy woman, Miss Drogo Targaryen. I can't understand what you need my services for.
It's just Miss Targaryen now. I take it you haven't been in town for a while.
Well, I have not. I've been out on King's Landing for a case. There's a lot of bodies at the end of Black Bay. You might not know anything about it. It's been spreading like food. Why does it matter?
Because my husband was first killed by this demented Steinbeck fan.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that. How long have these morbid slayings been occurring?
I hired you to find that monster and bring him the book. What all do you know about John Steinbeck?
Well, he was born about 1902 and he left a year before he graduated from Stanford to become a writer. He wrote his first book, Cup of Gold, and then became known for Grapes of Wrath. He wrote Cannery Row, East of Eden, and he was really someone who talked about the class struggle that would go on for sharecroppers or farmers during the Dust Bowl, people who worked their way from the bottom and desperately searched for that American dream that they just couldn't reach because the American dream from Steinbeck's perspective was a facade. So, yeah, I guess I know a little bit about John Steinbeck. Go ahead.
And what did his critics think of him?
Well, his critics really thought of him, if you were to say negatively, as someone who was a lefty, a Marxist, because he really seemed like he was advocating a Marxist revolt of the working class, which, conveniently enough, he didn't shy away from, because he did. So, you're familiar with Steinbeck's views on capitalism?
More or less. It was kind of written in the blood of my husband across his office.
I have a debt to pay to you, Miss Targaryen. A Lannister always pays their debts. I'll take my payment in my usual fashion. You'll pay me once the job is completely done, and you will be satisfied.
Oh, would you look at the time? It's past noon. Would you like something stronger to drink?
Why, no thank you, my lady. I think it's gonna be a long day.
I think so too.
If you need me, you know how to contact me. Ciao. Hey boy, do me a solid or you end up in stripes.
The suit himself. What do you want to know, rich boy? The Helden's up the road with all the other bigwigs. He'll serve you all the treats, fancy treats you like.
So, Mr. Pinnacle of Social Welfare, you wouldn't happen to know anything about this Steinbeck Slayer I wouldn't find in a police report now, would you?
I don't really know the guy. All I know is that he's been killing off some of the red people in China. I think he killed all the fat judge ones, lawyers, landowners. He did kill a baker. You know what I would do? Buy him a drink. Really?
Well, you know, Steinbeck Slayer is kind of making widowers and killing people. Killing people is bad. So, you know what? If you know anything, you should probably tell me. A Lannister always is back his debts.
So we all know what type of author John Steinbeck was.
Really? You guys. You know about John Steinbeck. Call me insensitive, but you don't take to me as the reading type.
Yeah, I'm a fan of literary technique.
Really? Literary techniques. Well, are you familiar with repetition? You know, the pounding of an idea in your head 1,000 times by putting it a lot in a certain passage? Well, check it out. Graph, chapter 12. You got these family of migrants, right? You ever read that book? No? Sorry. But essentially, they're arguing back and forth after buying this really, really crappy car from this huge car salesman. And they're just arguing about what they're finding in California. Over that entire thing, you hear their kid in the back, and he is bawling his eyes out because he has that thing to drink and that 2 days. Daddy wants that water. Daddy wants that water. Daddy wants a cup of water. He says it 4 times over 2 days. What do you think about that? So, repetition, along with speaking a special voice straight to the reader, makes Steinbeck a very, very influential author. And not only that, this Steinbeck Slayer is bastardizing everything that author stood for, with class structure and the struggle for the working class, by killing every bourgeoisie spam magnet.
Steinbeck uses the migrants and grapes around to show how the world is cruel and evil, yet beautiful and kind at the same time.
Well, if you finish the book, maybe you want to think about the ending of Rosemary. This woman who lost a lot of her family, her brother, everything that she loved, and instead of being bitter about it, instead of letting herself die off, she goes and she breastfeeds a homeless man because he can't eat solid food anymore, because the only thing he can drink is milk. I understand that's a scary thing, but I think maybe you know that too, because you just summarized Grapes of Wrath perfectly, I gotta say, my friend. Because, Steinbeck really did boil down humanity in that book. There are those who help themselves, and there are those who try to cooperate to help themselves and others. Pretty straightforward, wouldn't you agree? Well, you know, this has been an enlightening talk. Maybe we should start a Backstreet Edgy book club.
Well, why don't you get out of here, you and your AP classes in literature?
He has a lot of literary techniques. You know, you got your allegories, you got your allusions, your consonants, your assonants. But he really goes into a lot of description about landscapes. But I really enjoy his biblical allusions to things. It's honestly one of my favorite parts about East of Eden, aside from its breaking depth and really hitting the home about how humanity is and what the American dream can be.
Jesus marrying his stepfather Joseph. This nutcase defines all the qualities of a good book with every note he leaves at his gory scenes.
Do it.
The grapes of wrath comes from the lines 14, 19, and 20 in the book of Revelation. Mine eyes have seen glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampled out of the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the faithful lighting of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. God is not the sword of justice in that novel of the same name, however. But Steinbeck promotes the ideal of the proletarian revolt. When the grapes of wrath and justice is nigh, the coming eyes of God are the working class revolt. All victims are the higher portion of society, except for persons of humble origins.
So, how did you come to marry Droga?
Well, that's a funny story, actually. Droga took me as his wife as a way to connect my father's crumbling business to his father's old money. It was an arranged marriage.
I heard you were quite fond of each other. At least that's what I read in police reports. Did he ever hit you?
Only when he came back from a bad day.
I take it you read a little bit of Steinbeck in high school? Me, I read East of Eden and Cannery Row of Mice and Men. I really loved the stuff. Good stuff. Class struggle.
The classics. I always liked how Adam Trask looked up to Samuel Hamilton as a father figure more than his own dishonest father did.
Yeah, but a great book really brings out the value of life and honors it, though. I mean, Sam Hamilton's character wasn't just there to be that father figure that Adam Trask wanted. He was a symbol of what life should be. He was this father figure who had, he gave birth to, 12, 15 children. He lived in this barren wasteland of a farm area with no way to grow plants, but he could find water. He's surrounded by water and light. He has sunlight always hitting him. He's always being hit with moonlight, starlight. He's surrounded by water. He really just embodies life. And he's...
I think it's funny how he paints the woman as the devil in the story.
Michelle was a really beautiful part of that book, though. It comes from this argument on how the Bible is translated and changed over generation to generation. Amidst the middle of the book, Trask, Hamilton, and their Chinaman butler came together with some wise men, and they were discussing how the Bible was translated. And the word Temeshel came up because there was this argument on whether or not man must overcome his sins in order to enter heaven. Well, redemption is something that could clean you morally, maybe not legally. You know, someone who might want to come clean about any past actions that might link them to any type of crime or act of slaying another.
What are you trying to say, Detective Lannister?
What I'm trying to say is everyone who attended Drogo's wedding with you was killed in this last month. you have every single book that John Steinbeck ever wrote in that library. You have their initials at certain segments of the book where the literary analysis on their diction, on the imagery, the grammar usage, and the repetition, every other literary element, as well as his biography over there with their initials tied into each segment that was found on the scene. People connected to you and your father's business suddenly died, and now their initials are put in that book, along with the quotes found on the scene of the crime. You know, it's really confusing to me, but you look like a cold-blooded murderer, Miss Targaryen.
Then why am I not in chains right now, Detective?
Because there's so many angles to this, I don't understand. There's two main ones that I really want to hear from you before you go to the news. Firstly, why in God's green earth John Steinbeck?
Well, there's places that we retreat to when the world becomes a foreboding husk. I fell in love with Steinbeck's work while my husband was home. I was retreated to my library just to find some kind of refuge, and there it was. I became fascinated with the plight of the working class and the effect the land had on the people who lived off of it. I miss my country and the sunny days. I tried explaining it to Mark a few times, but he wouldn't listen. He wouldn't understand me.
So, provided his role in mingling between the Marxist and liberal crowds and his use of literary techniques, imagery, allegories, and different ways of really illustrating to an international audience how the working class just toils day in and day out to this unattainable, unthinkable American dream. Wouldn't you say that would make John Steinbeck one of the greatest authors ever?
Yes, what a very nice thesis! Wouldn't it be great if Miss Wolf wouldn't crack your head open for taking so freaking long to say?
Well, I try.
Well, it's a shame that you came here in such awful circumstances. It's really nice that you have such good taste in drinking literature time. It hurts me to do this to you.
To do what? Is it getting on there?
Well, I did give you some drops of nap time to see if you could just sleep through a little journey out of town. It's really a shame I've become something of a sadist after killing my way to freedom from those patriarchal bonds. I paid my dues for liberty, and now I have you. A loose ends.
Oh. Second. Why did you hire me?
Well, you see, you and your partner, I hired you to try and investigate the money I could down. I figured that you'd be able to do jobs with all the evidence I laid out for you. But you see here, you're just too good at your job. It's such a shame.
Why don't you just kill me now?
Who's the only person that's felt what I felt? Please tell me. I think I was just chaining up somewhere with my games like cold. Well, I'll never see the scene again. You're ruining me as well. I'm sure that you
Oh, God. Damn it, Joe!
I didn't even get into the shot anyway. Pun! Okay, I'm done.
Hmm.